Good morning. This is Bay Area Cares, a weekly program where we are pleased to highlight Bay Area nonprofits and people doing great things in your neighborhood. We are videotaping this Zoom call so you can see the faces behind the voices at bayareacares.com. You can also chime in there if you run a nonprofit and like to partake. We can highlight all the good work that you're doing. You can reach out at bayareacares.com. I'm Sue Hall, and with me this morning is Niels Benke. Niels is the CEO of St. Anthony Foundation in San Francisco. Good morning.
Good morning, and thanks for the kind introduction.
Oh, my pleasure. Tell us about Niels Benke. What's your background? What brings you to San Francisco? I can hear a little bit of an accent. And how did you get started?
I was born in Germany, but it's been a while. And I have been the CEO of St. Anthony's for the past almost 3 years. But I was on the board for 10 years prior to that, and I was a donor and volunteer, so I've been with this organization for a while. This is my second mountain career. Before I joined here, I was a management consultant with Bain & Company for the last 17 years or so, and I've been in the city for 20 years.
Wow, great background. So thank you for joining us, and let's talk about St. Anthony and the foundation, and a lot of folks, of course, have heard of it. What do you do? What is your mission?
Well, our mission is pretty broad. We're here to help people who are most in need. That's really what we do. And I think it falls broadly into being the hands below the safety net. We're the place that you can turn to if you have no other place to go. We will ask no questions. We pass no judgment. Absolutely everybody is welcome to partake in our services. But we're also, for many of the people, a gateway to stability. We have a very broad range of services. It starts with existential services. We're very well known for our dining room, our free clothing program, our hygiene hub, the rest program in the church at St. Boniface. We also have a pretty scale healthcare program. We have a clinic that is free for people to use, and we have a residential recovery center for men who recover from substance and alcohol use disorder. And we have a big transitional employment and workforce development program. At any point in time, we probably employ about 100 people who have lived experience and who used to be our guests or residents at our recovery program. A lot of them in supervisory and managerial positions. And I think there's a lot that we contribute that way. When people talk about what are the ways out of homelessness and what can be done, I think we have something to contribute to that in the way that we work, but also how we share the knowledge about what works.
We are speaking with Niels Benke. He's the CEO of St. Anthony. San Francisco has a big image problem, I believe. Let's get down to the streets. The people hear about homeless, they hear about drug use, they hear about crime, and here is St. Anthony out there on the streets combating all of this. How is it? How is it going?
Yeah. Let me be honest. I don't think anybody can be happy with this about the status quo in the city, what we see. And that is homelessness, this is substance use, this is drug dealing, this is crime. I think where people go wrong is they put it all together and they call it the homelessness problem, whereas it is really different things, right? And a lot of the people who experience homelessness have a lot of barriers in their life. And they're the first victims of the situation that we have. They're not the cause. People are not the problem. And we're here to help those most in need, to help them out of this situation. So we're very, very dissatisfied with the status quo. And there are probably many different ways of dealing with that. Our contribution to it is to love the people that we see and to be the helping hand that helps people to make a change in their lives. And that's very important. I know a lot of people think about nonprofits as, aren't you part of the problem? Aren't you sustaining people in the situation they're in? What we're really doing is we're inviting people in and helping them, but we want them to make a change in their lives.
And that's an excellent way of looking at it, as all different problems, but you tend to hear about the homelessness as being a global issue when it is different things. And thank goodness St. Anthony Foundation and groups like yours are out there trying to help. And that's the big thing that we're trying to focus on. And all of this takes volunteers, it takes time, it takes energy. Of course, you mentioned the food program. St. Anthony's Kitchen is widely known. And is it true that you serve daily about 1,000 meals?
We actually serve probably 1,000 people with breakfast and lunch, so it's more like 1,500 people or 1,500 meals that we serve a day. And on Thanksgiving, it can be up to 3,000. Yeah, it's a pretty scale operation. And thank you for mentioning volunteers. That's so important. Our organization depends not just on people contributing their treasure and their money as donors, but also to help as volunteers. And volunteers are very much part of our community. When we invite people to change their lives, it's not just our guests who are invited to change their lives, but we all can participate in that and get a different perspective. That's true for staff, that's true for our volunteers. So I would invite everybody to come and see what we do and be part of it.
I think that's a wonderful idea. And you can start by going to the website and seeing the services and checking out what they do. There's so much going on. It's St. Anthony, StAnthonySF.org is the website. And we really can't emphasize enough how it changes everybody's lives, those volunteering, those involved in the services. And it also does take money and donations. And you've got a big fundraiser coming up, Niels. We're speaking with Niels Behnke, the CEO of St. Anthony in San Francisco. Let's talk about Penny Pitch San Francisco.
Oh, that's one of my favorite topics. It's so much fun. It's the 45th anniversary, actually, of the Penny Pitch. It started in 1977. Ed Moose was the one. He was a legendary North Beach restaurant owner. And what it is really, it's kind of bocce ball with coins. And it features teams of 6 that work in a bracket, and we'll have a champion at the end. A lot of people come, have teams. They dress up. We have a lot of like local dignitaries there. The mayor is typically there, the police chief, the fire chief, and a lot of other people. And it's just a lot a lot of fun. And
yes, awesome pictures on the website.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no. Like, yeah, take a look at the pictures and be inspired by the costumes and the good mood that people bring to this event. It's lovely.
Yeah, it looks fun and fantastic. It is coming up Friday, May 12th. At Chief Sullivan's on Green Street in San Francisco, 622 Green Street. Please check out the pictures online. You can go to pennypitchsf.com. We had Mayor London Breed last year partaking, and the fire chief and the police chief among dignitaries, and just a lot of fun to be had. What time does it start, Niels? And tell us a little bit about the day.
Yeah, it starts at 11 a.m. and it's until 3 p.m. about. So typically what we do, we kick it off with fun, and there'll be drinks, and there's going to be some food. And typically we start just with a little opening prayer and a couple of people speaking. Typically the mayor would say a few things. I would say a few things. Then we would bless all the people that are there and just get started with the action, with the penny pitch. And typically it is, it actually does get a little bit competitive, I will say that.
I've heard.
And some people actually have practiced a lot, but others are more there for the fun. And every once in a while, there's also the lucky shot that elevates a team to the next round where you wouldn't believe that would be possible. So
you're talking about pennies, but last year over $10,000, or pardon me, $100,000 was raised at this event. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money, and we're really grateful for people being so generous. And we would like to beat that this year. Like 100,000 was last year, and let's see how much we can do, and maybe how much your listeners and viewers can help us achieve that.
Terrific. pennypitchsf.com. Niels Behnke, CEO of St. Anthony Foundation. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank you for all that you do on the streets of San Francisco and for the people of San Francisco. For more information, StAnthonySF.org. Good luck on your event on May 12th at Chief Sullivan's. My name is Sue Hall, and this is Bay Area Cares. You can hear this show and past shows and give us future show ideas at bayareacares.com. Have a great week. Thanks, Niels.